and welcome back. So, a rare one where I'm actually going to tinker with some, well, actually tinker with code multiple times a day, most days, but I haven't been doing the kind of tinkering with code such that I'd be streaming with it multiple times in a day. Don't think so, anyway. But yeah, I just wanted to muck about for another hour, maybe, and just experiment some more with the interface for PISpy, but also to sort of take on board. Let me just go to here. There is a very good issue raised. I mentioned it yesterday about this is one about the way that the metadata are shown. So in the version of this that I originally wrote, I looked at how I've done my projects. I've looked at some other common projects and went, these values seem like the ones that are always used, like license and stuff like that, and the maintainer and the email and documentation URL and download URL, things like that. But turns out there are different thoughts, variations on a theme, from what I can tell, of how these sorts of things are actually put in the... I just realised as well, I'm pointing at something, and there we go. I normally do like hello, and then switch over to this view, and then forgot about that. Some of these values... or rather these ones up here, can be done in different ways and so on and so forth. So I'm figuring one of the things I want to do as a quick experiment in this session is basically dump the remains of the user interface as it is right now, and simplify the way it loads the information and make it less, the hard-coded keys for various values and stuff like that, and try and make it as general as possible. While at the same time not having it look rubbish. So we'll see how it goes. Basically, I think what I'm going to do is like gut the thing, and then build it back up again. Probably not in this session. But first things first, I just need to pull in this morning's work. Yep, that all looks good. Don't think it needs too much clever explanation. GitHub, there we go. GitHub was taking its time to decide that I could merge that. Right. Merge. Good. Nuke. Oh, I'm in that. Cool. So that all works. So what I'm aiming to do is, basically gut most of how this thing here works. And come up with a different way of loading it, maybe. We'll see. I want to experiment with that anyway. So let's see how this goes. Lost my terminal. No, I didn't want my terminal. I wanted my Emacs. There it is. Okay, so... I have this package info widget, which is really a bit OTT. Probably doesn't need to be quite as involved and as busy as it is. Maybe, maybe not, I'll see. But then the heart of it is this data. yeah, it's sort of data class that loads up all the package information into specific fields and things like that. And again, I think what I need to do is I did load a great. That's a big flat file, isn't it? Oh, that seems to have killed my Emacs. Okay, that's fun. I might have to... Oh, I got a ping. I think that line is a little bit too wide for the mode that I've got going in there. Let's just see if I can get this back, otherwise I might have to kill Emacs and start again. That's not great. No. Oh, we are responding. Hang on. Come on. I'm going to see if I can kill it. That's fun. No, it's not having it. Let's force quit. Where is it? There it is. That's rare. Let's try again. There we go. Okay. That was fun. So what I was saying is let's so we have that's all the data for an example package for if I look at they're basically the top level keys. So that one's going to be useful. So my thinking is some of these it's an interesting one, because I think the idea is some of these I would be pulling. Some of these I would want to be pulling out without actually really getting too involved in them. But there are others where I do need to know that they exist. So, for example, I need to build a little bit of intelligence into this, in so much as if there's a description, I do want to look for the description type, the description content type, because that's one of those things where it's actually useful to the difference between the description being, say, plain text and a markdown document. So I definitely want to know that that exists. I'm actually curious. Let's just do a little bit of experimenting here. Let's go for... actually, that would be a good one. So Is there anything that stands out as being particularly different there? I'm not sure. It's a curious one. There isn't really anything that's that different. So let's have a look. What was the actual hard code some field names, expecting to find them in the metadata? I say this because I notice a lot of fields which are non-bug track URL, documentation URL, download URL, homepage. The packet does have URLs for all these, just named differently. And they do show up afterwards. So that would seem to be a case of where do they show up if they show up afterwards, as it were? There's a lot to plough through there. Hang on. So yeah, the URLs are actually for the files themselves. Project URLs. Okay. So they are in the info. So if I look at the same for mine, kind of got similar thing. Just trying to decide how to go about this and what the most sensible approach to this is. Email one's interesting. Author appears as none. That's expected based on PEP 621, though maybe it could be hidden under both author and email fields. Yeah, okay. Maybe what I'm doing isn't quite so bad. Trying to look if there's any obvious difference. What I probably should do is yeah, okay, so there's no difference there, is there? They're all there. What I probably should do is just not show the stuff. Not show the stuff that doesn't exist. Okay, so maybe the approach I'm taking isn't horrific. So I suppose the question becomes, what's the actual problem? I'm going to assume this data is actually okay. Couple of things are missing there. I'll figure out what they are. For goodness sake, I can't type. Oh, come on. Keep hitting shift when I don't mean to. It's not license, it's with a S. Why has the license come through as nothing? So bug track URL. That's like so there is a bug track URL, which is going to be different from no, I don't have one in mine either. Yeah, because the issues is done as an issue thing in its own right and stuff like that. That makes sense. Okay, I'm probably not that badly off. So I'm curious. Let's just have a look at this for a moment. Author email bug track URL classifiers description description content type docs URL download URL downloads. What's downloads? Oh yes, right, okay. I've not got that in there. I thought that was something I had. I know they're not tracked anymore. Maybe that's why I didn't even bother grabbing that. So look, docs URL, download URL, downloads. What's dynamic? Nothing. Don't know what that is. We got home page. Although interestingly, that's home underscore page. So it looks like I may have a kind of bug there. Looks like I do, doesn't it? Home page, keywords, license. That's why license isn't loading. There we go. Maintainer email, name, package URL, platform, project URL, project URLs. There's no release URL. Oh yeah, there's provides extra. I don't think either of those are gonna. I'm not gonna worry. Should I worry about that? I'll look back into that one. Release URL requires dist, requires Python, summary version yanked and yanked reason, and then there's the URLs. Okay. That's not terrible. I think actually I'm going to stick with this slightly more structured approach, because it does allow me to reason more about what's been loaded. At least it's got a license now. And that really was just a typo in the code, it seems. But I think what I am tempted to do is, filter out some of these that are just none, maybe, or something like that. Might be tempted to do that. Okay, as I say, originally I was tempted to sort of gut this, but actually I think I want to change the way it looks. I feel it can be tidier, but I think I'm going to stick more with how I'm going about it. I just realised something. Is that big enough? That's probably big enough, right? After I restarted Emacs, I hadn't bumped the font up, so I was coding my usual font or font size. Okay, Not terrible. Not terrible. A little bit of me is sort of tempted to drop the use of drop the use of HTTPX from this, so not have the actual loading of the data be async. So then this becomes a handy little words and things, handy little class in its own right, whereby you can just quickly load up some stuff. So it's great for debugging in the report as well, and then use workers, threaded workers in the actual main app to load the stuff in the background. Kind of tempted to do that as well. Let's quickly do that. I'm just trying to think what have I written recently that uses just straightforward grabbing of data. Did I do a quizzical maybe? Nah, using HTTPX there. I mean, I know I could easily do the non-async version with this anyway. Actually, that might actually be really straightforward to do. Just try and decide if I want to do that. Just check something. I think it's as straightforward as pretty sure it's just as simple as that. Called. Oh, right, yeah. Yeah, just okay. Yeah, that's doing exactly what I imagined it is doing. Just trying to decide if I, yeah, let's not do it like that at the moment. It could be handy for debugging though. But we know we're good. We know we're good. So yeah, I think I'm happy with the way that the data's loading. So really, it's more down to this widget now and how I display these values. So it's a little bit clunky the way it does things, not horrifically so, but it does betray its age, as I've mentioned before. I feel what I want to do is come up with a handy way of basically working through these and just go, if this information is available, then add it. That would be a nicer way of doing things. So we cut down on the amount of things that are non. But then, do I care? Do I care? It's kind of useful that knowing they're not, those values aren't filled in ish. But yeah, there is this thing of where does so I look for doxel, download, home page. So it definitely comes from there, which is, so if I look at, let's look at textual, for example. Those kinds of things specified. Doesn't look like it, does it? Okay, so the project links, yeah, they just take, it's just a key value pair, isn't it, that it takes from the project links. So it looks like, I don't know, maybe I should probably be looking at the PEP, shouldn't I? There's probably a PEP for this. But things like bug track URL and download URL, docs URL, things like that. Maybe they're kind of legacy now. Hey Mohammed, how's it going? So it does make sense to kind of filter out definitely those kinds of things. So I really just want a tidier way, a tidier way of filtering those things out, or a tidy way, because there isn't a tidier way because I haven't done anything to filter them out yet. So yeah, I just want a nice way of doing that, don't I? It's not tricky to do. I'm just trying to think of the tidiest way of doing it. I'm tempted to bump the project URLs higher up that collection anyway. I'm just looking at this thinking what's going to be a nicer way of doing it. pondering. Yeah, there's definitely a bunch of things here that are probably going to end up like, stuff like that. Probably going to end up with nothing useful in them. I think I see a way. Oh, I think I see a way I may want to do it. Ish, maybe. So I'm thinking. Doesn't actually need to be that. So the idea being, there would be something which would take the title of the thing, and then the value of the thing, and that can be any, and the widget that we'll use. Oh. Let's have a look. It's going to be... Oh, interestingly, I'm doing URLs as Markdown. That's a hangover. That's a real hangover. I'll need to rethink that one. It's very much a hangover from the early days. So it could be a label. It's either going to be a value or a URL for the moment. Let's do that. And something like that. I'm trying to decide exactly how to go about this. Trying to decide how to go about this. I'll worry about the return type in a moment. So I'm thinking, it's kind of moot at that point, knowing whether there's a value. I could just go if it's not none. Yeah. If the value is none, then I know there was nothing in there. That's what this is all about. Although, yeah. Actually, that should be that, shouldn't it? And I'm going to yield up title and yield up the widget with value. something like that. That can be a static method for the moment because it doesn't need to know the instance or the class even. So maybe something like that. And then it's going to be, if we found something, we're going to go, and this is where it could be a bit messy. All that there. That kind of thing. Actually, I can make this even easier, can't I? In most cases it's going to be like that. Except I'm not going to yield from there, but that's roughly the kind of thing I'm wanting. So actually it's going to be, oh, oh, for goodness sake. Just going to say it's going to be a list of widgets at the moment. I may tidy that up, narrow it down. Helps if we spell things right, doesn't it? Also, I just realised that it needs to be that, actually. What do you like about that? Oh, help. Helps spell things right. Right, there we go. I was so busy staring at that, I didn't see the capitalisation issue. Right, what are we not liking here? Of course, of course, of course, of course, of course, of course. Okay. Yeah. Thinking about 3 different things at once and not really actually thinking this through. Okay. Not gonna faff again like that. Let's just cut that one out for now. It's kind of roughly maybe something like that. This is going to be terrible, isn't it? Actually worked. Okay, so I just need to find something that author was one, wasn't it? That didn't exist. What? Did I forget to actually put the code in that is... if value is not none. Oh. Maybe it's an empty string or something. Let's just do that for a second. An empty string. Tis an empty string. Okay, we're going to go if value is none or is instance value str and not value and value. Right. No, what I was after doing was if value is none or it's that's what I wanted. That's a little bit more like it now. Whereas that one does have an author. Yeah, something like that. Something like that. Okay, so we've got name, we've got version. Let's go through these. Okay. Probably going to be kind of quiet for a wee bit as I just aimlessly work through this. go there, really. Actually do that as well, that'll work. Just needs to be that. So how that's looking. Yeah, it's sort of coming together. The problem of the non-author and stuff like that's gone away. Yeah. Still not 100% convinced about the way I'm going about this, but we'll okay, this one's going to be interesting. I think it'll just work. I think it will just work. Given how I'm doing it, there's no reason why it shouldn't just work. It is literally a case of it's the package description, but it's going to be this. Should just be that. Something doesn't like something. Worked. How do you spell it? Yes, there we go. And that one's plain text. Yes, okay, that's working. Okay. Get in there. So these ones, it looks like they're a bit redundant these days, maybe, but presumably there's going to be packages out there with these specified. Why don't you like that? I think that's just FlyMake. FlyMake? Oh yeah, spell checky thing. Just getting a little bit upset. Yeah, still working. Yay, we even got keywords and stuff like that. So I suppose the nice thing about not making it massively generic, which I was definitely considering, is I can, I know my IDE that these values are available and stuff like that, or potentially available. Also, it does mean I can do things like, oh, excuse me, I am brew. I can do things like go, what's the license, and then do something more with it. Yeah, so like at some point in the future, I could flag things up differently, depending on what kind of license is being used. You could have something where you want to make it really obvious whether something's GPL or MLT or something, because you're actually looking for things that are maybe going to be problematic for your particular situation and your particular project, that kind of stuff. Oops. Hang on. URL, shouldn't it? I'm obviously going to have to change the URL one, because by the looks of things, when I originally did this, I was leaning on the Markdown widget to show the URL in a certain way, and I obviously still am, but it doesn't handle opening of external URLs. I don't think, because when I wrote this, the Markdown widget in textual was a very thin wrapper around Rich's Markdown renderable, and things have kind of changed now. Just try and decide what to do with this next bit, the project URLs. Actually, think. Just kind of want to splice them in there, don't I? That kind of thing. Not quite that kind of thing. It's a bit too late now to be doing this kind of shit now. Yeah, expected 2 expected to... because there's more than 2 things in here. What's in project URLs? It's a dictionary. It's a dictionary. It's a dictionary. For some reason I thought it was something else. I thought it was something else. What am I doing? What am I doing? I've lost where I was. Lost where I was. There we go. No. What am I doing wrong? I'm doing something wrong. So close. Not seeing it now though. Brain. Come on, brain. You can do this. It's right in front of me. It's right in front of me. But I'm not seeing it. Project URLs or dictionary. Can't remember what's in there. I think the fact that I can't reason this tells me that this is the point in today where I need to stop. Not values, items. Yeah. Did I type value? I did type values. See. See. Hey. See, I did know what I was doing. Honest. Can I... There we go. It's a bit tidier. Right, that's that. That was the project URLs. Cool. I just did release them, didn't I? Must have copied that rather than cut it. Definitely looks like I can do this. Should just be, oops. looks okay. Yeah. And does that work? It does. It does. Oh, there's Kitty having a moment. Right, that's a bit better. And then we've got the package URLs. Which I can just do that one, I believe. Ah, not quite. Not quite. Close, but not quite. What I can do is it's not quite liking that. Oh, there we go. And that just means I need to okay, we're back to where we were, but with a method of filtering these things out, so only showing stuff that's relevant. That also means, oh, what do we like there? Type any or string cannot be assigned to package URL. What does package URL take? That's the thing I'm going to need to. No, it's package URL data, isn't it? Confused myself now. Where's it picking package URL up from? Mildly confused by what it's telling me there. I should wind up soon as well, because I want to go out for a walk. So, package file name. The actual value should be any type. And package URL data should take the value I'm giving it, which is correct. That's what it's doing there. The code's correct. The code's working fine. It's just the typing is off ever so slightly. Any R string. Where the hell are you getting? Oh, right. Yes, of course, of course, of course, of course, of course. It's basically going, these three values here will take a string, but this one doesn't. Got to be a bit more careful with my typing here. I think I'm just going to because I'm roughly where I want to be, and I just need to clean up that typing. The actual layout of this, the way this looks and everything, as I said in my previous session hacking on this, I want to change this up a bit, because I'm not as happy with it as I'd like to be. But it's oh, excuse me, it's looking a lot more manageable. Oh, yanked reason is showing as none when I'm supposed to be filtering that out. I just realised the yanked reason's coming from this. It's not the bit that I've just been working on. Yeah, because you can kind of yank a. I don't know actually if this here is that going to be like the whole package, end of story, whereas the other one, the other yanked thing is going to be that particular version. But that's okay. I think I kind of have a plan for how I'm going to do this sort of thing now. I feel I can still tidy this up. I feel like the way I'm doing this isn't as great as it could be, so I may tidy this up further, but as a sort of proof of concept for ordering things in the way I want, so I can prioritize and name the version, the summary, and all that kind of stuff. I still have control over the ordering and giving them tidier descriptions and things like that. That is all there and all good. I'm not overly happy with the detail of how I'm doing this, but as I say, as a quick proof of concept, that's actually looking okay to me. And what I probably will do is apply a similar apply a similar thing to this as well. Yeah, that actually could. It could be that this actually, this perhaps include thing doesn't need to be static. Doesn't need to be a static method. It could just be a helper function in here. Because I'm just looking at that now. And it actually would work. Well, let's go for it. What are you not liking there? Which means not defined. It isn't defined because I've bumped it up. There we go. No, still needs to be. Okay. Yeah, it's going to get a bit. I need it in the thing that needs the thing. I'll come back to that. I'll come back to that. I need to make that perhaps include thing just a little bit more generic. That's for another session. As I say, I want to go out for a walk now. So this feels like a good spot to finish. I think what I will do is... yeah. Kind of addresses this. So it's not really a new loader anymore, quite, kind of, sort of is. But I think mostly it's going to address piece twice, author, yeah. That will pretty much address yeah, they'll pretty much address all the issues in there, I think. So what's left is to... almost all the issues, because, yeah, as I say, there is still the thing of if a particular release hasn't been yanked, then there's no point in showing the yanked reason and all that kind of stuff. that's been there since I first did it, because again, as I've said, this started life as a quick hack just to try some stuff in textual. And now it deserves, it kind of deserves a bit more care, a bit more attention, stuff like that. For example, the number of downloads, like that's at -1 because downloads aren't tracked anymore. I think they were at some point, or if they are tracked, they're not tracked. It's not, the values aren't made available via this API or something like that. So like, I can probably put some stuff in there to filter that out. And once I've got all that going, the other couple of things I want to do is tidy up the way these are displayed anyway, because I'm not overly happy with these. And I want to change the way that URLs are done, because these are done, as I say, as markdown and they don't do anything. I can turn those into actual proper working links. There's no good reason not to. But otherwise, that's working pretty well, in so much as it's not really looking any different from what it did before. So it still works, and I'm some way towards having improved it. That feels like, how long have I been at that? 1 hour 25 minutes. That feels like it was a long time to not really get much done. But yeah, I kind of just approached my desk and thought, let's have a look at it and see what I fancy doing. Play with a couple of approaches. And to start off with, there was some time spent looking at the way I actually grab the data from the back end, whether I should make it way more general or not. But it's fairly well defined, and the things that are variable, when it came to the URLs and stuff like that, I was already handling that anyway. So the problem actually came down to, there was these bunch of URLs that don't have any value anymore, but they were still showing, but showing as none. And then some of them were repeated in the project URLs section or whatever. And most of that is dealt with. So, the application was handling that correctly anyway. It was just showing things that it didn't need to show. So I've handled that. That's the main thing. Having basically got it to a point where it filters out stuff that doesn't exist, but does show stuff that isn't, the keys aren't hard-coded, but they do exist, already did that anyway, so it's actually doing that in a way where there's no empty dupes showing anymore. So the next thing is come up with a tidier way of displaying this stuff. That's just easier on the eye, and looks nicer. And there was something else I wanted to do. Links. Get the links working. And that should be it. That should be pretty good. But I think I need to head out for a walk now. I'm nowhere near my 10,000 steps. I'm about 1,500 steps into my day, because I've mostly been just at home or off having lunch and things. So I'm going to go out and have a good walk and then think about some dinner. So, for anyone who's watching, thanks for dropping by and looking over my shoulder as I code and things like that. And for anyone who happens to watch this recording at some point in the future, thanks for watching as well, and goodbye.